Hi, I greet my viewers with our liberal message, such as thinking politology, like me, I'm not Nigerian. Actually, um, as a liberal commentator, I want to make a few comments about a recent state of our American economy. Actually, recent unemployment, spike in unemployment rate, from 8.9% to 9.1%. Actually, is another sign that American economy becomes sluggish and recovery falters. Um, this is increase in rate of unemployment to 9.1% nationwide is in our testimony that United States President Obama actually doesn't do enough in order to help economy to recover. I believe President Obama should actually replace more TAP fund or provide more bailout money to industries, that people would borrow more money and ask Federal Reserve Bank to provide more money to borrowers, so people could open their own startups. And I believe President Obama should do more in order to solve the problem of illegal immigration. As we know, about 11 million illegal alien workers are in the United States. President Obama refused to deport or refused to sign Amnesty bill claiming that U.S. Senate won't support him in that, not have enough votes. But we just showed President Obama being powerless and unwilling to implement liberal legislation to provide amnesty to illegal alien workers who need it very much. And in terms of fighting for amnesty for illegal alien workers, I believe that Alabama anti-immigrant law that was signed by Republican governor of Alabama, Mr. Bentley, is actually violation of federal constitution. It's unconstitutional. It's illegal in terms of it violates federal prerogative to control foreign policy, and will be struck down in federal courts, just as the same way as Arizona anti-immigrant legislation was struck down in federal courts because it violated U.S. supremacy clause. It violated prerogative of federal government to control foreign policy. I also believe that President Obama should sign that amnesty law, amnesty bill as soon as possible, in order to prove himself to his liberal base, secure his re-election for second term. As a liberal Democrat, I urge my voters to vote for President Obama for his second term. I fully support President Obama for his healthcare legislation. Could help people get that insurance coverage unlimited and for anybody who pre-existing conditions. It's a humane legislation, and condemn Republicans who want to overturn this Obamacare, they say healthcare legislation, been adopted by Democratic U.S. Congress and signed by U.S. President. And actually, I very much believe that President Obama should raise debt ceiling in order to enable U.S. government to pay its financial obligation on time to avoid default. And a recent failure of debt raising legislation to pass House actually it troubled me because there's about 90 Democrats who joined 230 Republicans in order to reject that legislation that raised debt ceiling. But actually, when Democrats take over Congress next year, debt ceiling legislation will be introduced and hopefully will win the House of Representatives. In terms of Mr. Timothy Weiner, a Democrat from New York, and his sexual packages and his unethical lies to public about he's not sending an email, Twitter, so-called tweets, in the internet, it's just another thing that Democrat Anthony Weiner is just, avoids, progressive legislation, but engages in, in some kind of sexual tryst or peccadillos, will actually give unhealthy public acclaim, give him have public acclaim, and he's definitely Mr. Anthony Weiner, U.S. House Representative from New York. He's an unethical person and should be censored by U.S. House Ethics Committee as an unethical person, censored for being unethical to the public. But definitely oppose his retiring. I demand keep his job and keep his job as a U.S. House Representative, because he actually didn't commit any crime whatsoever, and he's been unethical, doesn't interfere with his congressional duties, none whatsoever. And actually, Piccadilly was quite innocent. The only unethical thing was he was lying to the public, but he didn't send those tweets. Should have admitted as fair play. And then the second, well, I was listening to MSNBC host, who is claimed to be liberal. I should thank MSNBC host Lawrence O'Donnell for his support for raising taxes against the wealthy. He claimed that Christian doctrine requires people to raise taxes to share their wealth to the poor, and rich people are not able to enter the heaven, because their wealth prevents them from doing so. But sometimes Lawrence O'Donnell engages too in making dubious statements about his wages, how he makes millions of dollars, and other people millions of dollars are very incredible statements, where actually only very gullible people would believe. And I believe that that kind of chauvinistic life, should actually be kept away from such serious political station like MSNBC broadcasting. Well, come to speaking of liberal politics, I ran for the seat of California State Assembly and promised to bring more jobs by raising tax against the wealth corporation 50% more, and to rich individuals another 50% more, in order to replenish state coffers, and to enforce social justice. I promised to to actually implement those programs, social programs, to build more jobs, to create more jobs, for working Californians, middle class California workers, to build commercial satellites for phone service, commercial surveillance satellites. I promised to fight with car jams on California roads with new introduced California satellites. We'll be able to determine the causes of those car jams and photograph those car jams point blank, And actually, I plan to build more housing for working poor, and to reduce number of people on waiting list considerably by introducing the housing vouchers. Will we enable working class Californians, low-income Californians, to buy more housing and to rent housing, and actually. I ask all progressive Californians, public and liberal-minded Californians, to give me a call on my cell phone number, 213-448-0093, with feedback and donations to my electoral campaign, or call my home phone number, 323-735-3863, in order to provide donations and feedback for me being elected for the seat of California State Assembly. So, in terms of illegal narcotics, I believe that 50% of California voters reject Proposition 19. Proposition 19, they reject legalization of marijuana, and urge federal law enforcement agencies and police officers to close down those illegal marijuana dispensaries, because they rip off Californians, they steal the rent money, they make people destitute. They charge egregious sums of money for illegal dope as marijuana. They charge about $200 for 1 ounce of marijuana. These are outrageous and should be stopped immediately. And also, I believe that Proposition 36 should be enforced. Proposition 36, or Drug and Alcohol Treatment Act, which allows state government to send all those drug addicts, into a rehabilitation center, on mandatory basis, should be supported, and I promise to build more sanatoriums, kind of resource, for substance abusers, so we'll be able to find, very private housing, kind of sanatoriums, to enable the treatment, inpatient treatment in very comfortable conditions. It depends on the state of California. And I promise to find money for it by raising taxes against the working individual 50% and rich corporation 50% with report Californians every day. Like was oil producing corporations and gas production corporations who report Californians every day, and they should pay for it dearly. So that hopefully, liberal politics will prevail, and President Obama will actually sign. President Obama will sign the Amnesty for illegal alien works legislation, and actually as soon as possible. And promise. I hope that President Obama will actually will do more to create government-sponsored jobs for working poor and to reduce unemployment.